So today we are going to discuss, we'll start with this theorem, the first theorem of graph theory, better known as handshaking theorem. First theorem of graph theory, better known as handshaking theorem. So better known as handshaking theorem. Let's start. Okay. In a graph G, the sum of the degree of all vertices of G is equals to twice the number of edges of that graph G. Okay, as you know, the graph G is constructed by two sets, that is vertices, set of vertices and set of edges. So what is the theorem stating? Sum of all the degree, okay, of all vertices of G is equals to twice the number of the edges of G. That means, in other words, G is a graph with n number of vertices and e number of edges. Okay, G is a graph with n number of vertices and e number of edges. That means if I add all the degree of the vertices, suppose total n vertices, I mark them as v1, v2, vn, and I take the degree of each and every vertices. I add all those degree, first degree, second degree, third degree, and up to nth degree. The total result, okay, if after addition, the total result always should be equals to 2 times of number of edges. Okay, that is the theorem. You have to use this theorem in many cases further. Okay, in many cases further you have to use this theorem. Now we are going to prove this theorem here. We are going to prove this theorem like this manner. So first of all, let f be any edges of that particular graph G. I take any edge, small f. Okay, small f be any particular edge of that group graph G. Now f is a loop. Suppose first I take it, there are two possibilities. If f is an edge, then there are two possibilities. Either it is straightforward edge, another possibility is that f is going to be a self loop. So first case I have taken here, case number 1. In the first case, we have taken that f is a loop incident to a vertex v1. Okay, you know what is the meaning of loop, right? All of you know what is the meaning of loop. Suppose this is your uh, this is your vertex v1, and loop means I'm talking about an edge starting from this vertex and ending at that vertex only. So this is f. Okay, so first case is that f is a loop. Okay, so if f is a loop, then what happened? Then we know that the degree of loop, the definition of degree, whenever we discuss the definition of degree, so we knew that the degree of a self loop is always equals to 2. Degree of a self loop is always equals to 2. That means what I can write, if f is a self loop incident on vertex v1, then f is count twice when we count the degree of vertex v1. Okay, this is from the definition of self loop. This is from the definition of self loop. Yes, Arafat. Okay, so this is from the definition of self loop or definition of the degree. We will count twice. Okay, so that is satisfying. That is satisfying. This condition is satisfying in this case of self loop. If you check this condition, if we check this condition, degree of that v1 is equals to twice into number of edges. How many edges are there in v1? How many incident edges are there now? Only one incident edges, that is f. Okay, So count of number of edges is 1, but degree of V1 is 2. So I can write 2 equals to 2 into 1, which is satisfying the condition of our theorem. All right. Coming back to the next case. Next case is a straightforward case. If f is an incident edge, f is an incident edge aligned with v1 and v2. This is very important. F is an incident edge not only with v1, because we can construct an edge, a straightforward edge with two vertices at a time. So v1 and v2 are two vertices, and that from that two vertices we have one incident edge, that is f. Okay, now what we can say, f is count in both degree of v1 and degree of v2. All right, because this is suppose your f, this is suppose your f, and this is v1, this is v2. Now whenever we are calculating the degree of v1, I will count f. Whenever we are calculating the degree of v2, also I will count f. Okay, f is neither from this side, f is neither from this side. Okay, I will count f both sides. Okay, that means f count twice if we add the degree of v1 and v2. Simple. If I add the degree of v1 plus degree of v2, so what I will get? I will get f plus f, that is 2f. Not f plus f actually. That is number of edges is 1. Between number of incident edges is 1 right now in for f. So we will get 2 into 1. Okay, if I add the degree of v1 plus degree of v2, we will get 2 into 1, that is 2. That means it's satisfying the condition of the theorem also. Okay, so by that statement we can say that adding the degree of all vertices involves counting twice of each edge of G, which is the theorem. Therefore, the addition of degree of all vertices is equal to twice of number of edges. This is simple proof. Only you have to write it analytical manner. Okay, no algebra included in this proof. Okay, Arafat, what's the problem? Please ask me. What's the problem you ask me?
In the proof. Like I got the statement in the proof.
Arafat, ask me.
Yes, sir. I'm telling that in the proof, I have problem with the proof. I didn't get the theorem.
Just a minute, hold on. Okay, Arafat, say.
Yeah, I'm saying that I have a proof in the proof.
Sorry?
In the theorem, I didn't get the theorem.
Okay. So for what we want to prove here? Degree of all vertices of any graph. If I add those degree, we will get to the number of edges into 2. Okay, that is the proof that which want to prove actually. So if f is, first of all, if f is a self loop, case number 1 is f is a self loop on vertex v1. Case number 1 is f is a self loop on vertex v1. If it is self loop of vertex v1, so already it has the degree 2. Okay, that means suppose this is v1 vertex, it is having one incident edges, that is v f. One incident edges, that is f. So number of incident edges of v1 is 1. Okay, that means we can write the degree of v1. Also we know the degree of v1 is 2 because it is a self loop. So we can write 2, right side is a degree, this left side is a degree, is equals to twice multiplied by 1. 1 is the number of incident edges, which is satisfying here in case of self loop. Similarly, in case of incident edges, in case of incident edges and straightforward edges, suppose this is straightforward edges. I'm talking, this is V1, this is V2, and this is F. So whenever I'm asking about degree of V1, what is degree of V1? It is 1. What is degree of V2? It is 1. Okay, so if I add degree of V1 plus degree of V2, we'll get 2. All right, degree of V1 plus degree of V2 will get 2, and this 2 is equals to twice number of edge, which is incident to V1 and V2. That means what happened here, we count the edge F twice, one for V1, another for V2. Whenever we are calculating the degree of V1, we calculate we count the edge F. Whenever we are calculating the degree of V2, also we count the edge F. That means we are count twice. That is the theorem. Okay, that is the theorem. There are two cases only, case 1 and case 2. By applying these two cases, we can prove the theorem. Okay, proceed further. So for this example, now in this example, we have to check or verify whether that theorem is satisfying or not. First theorem of graph theory is satisfying or not. Okay, so what we will do here, A is, suppose A is your vertex whose degree is going to be 4. So degree of A is 4. And degree of B is also 4. Okay, no, degree of A is actually 3. Degree of A is actually 3. And degree of B is 4. Degree of D is 2. And C is 3. Okay. So now if I add all those degrees, so we will get 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, which means this is equals to 12. Okay, so 12 is the addition of all degree. Now how many edges are there? If I count all the edges, total 6 edges are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 edges we can write as 2 into 6. That is always true, and we prove that things here. That is, we verify that things over here in this particular example. All right. So this type of example can come in your exam, can appear in your exam, like verify first theorem of graph theory or Hands-Jagling theorem in particular graphs. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to calculate the degree of each and every vertices and also number of edges. Now you have to add those degree, that must be twice of number of edges, always. How is 6? Second. How is 6 means? This is count, you can count it. First, this is first edge, 1. This is second edge, 2. Third edge, 3. Fourth, 4. 5. And this one is 6. Okay, Sekhar? This is not integration and differentiation, Sekhar. Okay. It's quite easy subject, and you don't need any kind of prerequisites. And don't make any kind of excuse here. I will not tolerate any kind of excuse in this subject. This is quite easy subject to understand. You can understand this subject from very beginning. Okay. If I find any kind of excuse, I will go to hostel and I will. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Next theorem. Coming back to the next theorem. Theorem number 2. The number of vertices of odd degree in a graph is always even. Okay. Coming back to the next theorem. Number of vertices of odd degree in a graph is always even. Okay. Can you explain me, anyone, what's the meaning of this theorem? Can anyone explain me what is the meaning of this theorem?
Like odd degree means like 1, 3, 5, 7, like that, or the odd degree which is in the position
Yeah,
of the vertices.
it's like that. Okay. So first of all, we have any graph. Suppose we have any graph like this manner. Okay. Suppose this is any graph. Okay. Now, yes. Now what we will do? This is A, B, C, and D. Okay. So what is the degree of A? Degree of A is 3. Degree of C is 3. Degree of B is 3, and degree of D is 1. Okay. So how many vertex are there whose degree is odd number? How many vertex are there whose degree is in odd number? So all vertex are there. Total 4 vertex are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all vertex are there in this graph whose degree are in odd number. Get my point? Odd number means 1, 3, 5, 7 is all are odd number. Okay. So A, B, C, D all is having a degree of odd number. Okay. So which means if I count the number of degree of odd number or odd degree vertices, if I count the number of odd degree vertices, so number of odd degree vertices here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is total 4, and 4 is an even number. So that is what they are actually intended for. That the number of odd degree vertices, count, number means count of odd degree vertices in a graph always is even number. Always is in even number. Get it? If I count the number of odd degree vertices means the degree of vertices is going to be odd number. Okay. So count of any odd degree vertices of a graph. Okay. Count of all odd degree vertices, not any. All odd degree vertices of a graph are always in even number. Okay. This is what the theorem stating for. Now we will going for the proof. So first of all, by first theorem of graph theory, we will take help of first theorem of graph theory. So first theorem of graph theory states as this one. Okay, so summation of degree of all vertices always equals to twice of number of edges. Summation of degree of all vertices is always equals to twice of number of edges. Okay, this is the theorem we just finished up right now. Okay, which means what we can say, twice of number of edges is always an even number. Isn't true? Okay, twice of some number. Okay, if I multiply any number with 2, we will get an even number. Okay, Sekhar, get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So right side is always even number. So by first theorem of graph theory, what we can say that if we have total n number of vertices, so I add those degree of v1 plus degree of v2 plus so on plus degree of vn should be equals to even number. We get that is equals to even number. Next step is that we divide. Okay, we separated the degree of vertices into 2 parts. We separated the degree of vertices into 2 parts. One is an even degree, another one is odd degree. There is no other possibility, because degree means always an integer, right? It cannot be a fraction, it cannot be a irrational number, it cannot be a complex number. Okay, it's always a positive integer. Degree is always a positive integer. Positive integer means either it's even or it's odd. So I make this into 2 parts. I make this into 2 parts. I take the summation of even degree at a time. I take the summation of odd degree at a time. And if I take all those summation, we will get the all summation of degree. Get my point? Okay. So now what I have mentioned here. Now what is your left side? Your left side is even number, or right side is even number. This is equals to even number. This is equals to even number. Okay. As I told you here, from here this is equals to even number, and I separated this total degree into 2 parts. This total degree into 2 parts like this manner. I separated this total degree into two parts, like summation of even degree plus summation of odd degree. And remember, we are interested in summation of odd degree. We are interested in count of odd degree vertices. We are interested in this one. Okay. And now tell me, what about this one? Summation of even degree vertices. Okay. For an example, suppose degree of V3. Suppose degree of V3 equals to 6. Degree of V8 equals to 8. Like that. So degree of V3 and degree of V8 is equals to 8. They are even number. So they are even degree. V3 and V8 are even degree vertices. V3 and V8 are even degree vertices because their degree is even number. Okay, which means if I add those degree, again we get even number because 6 is even, 8 is even. So if I add even numbers multiple times, we will always get even number, isn't it? All right, just think about it. If I add any even number multiple times, not any particular, any even number, you can add any even numbers multiple times, we will always get another even number only. That means this is also even number. What we can say about this one? Summation of odd degree vertices. Summation of odd degree vertices is also even because it is even minus even. Even minus even is an even number only. Even minus even is even number only. Okay, that is very much important. The summation of odd degree vertices is even number. So what we prove here, summation of odd degree vertices is even number. That we have proved. Summation of odd degree vertices is even number. Yes, Hemant. So summation of odd degree vertices is even number. But this is not our solution. We are not intended for this one. We actually want count of odd degree vertices. Count of odd degree vertices. We want the count of odd degree vertices. But what we get? We get summation of all odd degree vertices. Okay, summation of all odd degree vertices are even number. Now, suppose for the time being, okay, let us assume that these degrees of vertices are all even number. Suppose that odd degree are like V2 is an odd degree. Okay, I suppose for an example, degree of V4 is an odd degree. Degree of V7 is an odd degree. Okay, suppose these three are odd degree. Like this is 3, and this is 7, and this is 9. Is it possible to construct an even number from these three? V2, V4, and V7. Is it possible? Because all are odd degree only. Try to understand. They say yes. Sekhar say yes. How is it possible, Sekhar? Sekhar, how is it possible?
Sir, उसको this is a multiply into 2, then after is even number.
No, I don't want multiply. Come on. I'm just adding. I'm just adding some odd number. I'm just adding some odd number. Like this is an odd number. This is an odd number. This is an odd number. Now my question is that if I add 3 odd numbers, can we get an even number? Is it possible? If I add 3 odd number, can we get an even number? Is it possible?
No,
Come on. Tell me.
It's possible, but it's not always.
If I add 3 odd numbers, simple. Odd number means 3, 7, 5. If I add 3 odd numbers, is it possible to get an even number?
No, sir.
Okay. If I add 5 odd number, is it possible to get an even number? If I add 5 odd number, is it possible to get an even number? Come on, Sekhar.
No, sir.
Okay, if I add 11 odd number, is it possible to get an even number?
Sir, I think when you add odd number, then after not possible this even number count.
Perfect. That means when we add odd numbers, odd number of times. When we add odd numbers, odd number of times, it is not possible to get an even number. That means we have to add another odd number. We have to add another odd number like this one. Then we get even number. Otherwise, even number is not possible. Okay, that means we have to add odd number, odd degree vertices how many times? Even times. We have to add odd degree vertices how many times? Even times. That means that implies? That implies that count of odd degree vertices are even number. What that implies? Count of odd degree vertices are even number. What is actually we are intended for? Okay, so count of odd degree vertices are even number. So what is written here in this equation above? The degree of vertices is odd, so that the total number of the terms in the sum must be even to make a sum an even number. Okay, that I told you right now. Okay, because this is an odd number. This is an odd number. If I add odd number even times, if I add odd number even times, then only we get even number. Otherwise, not possible. Even times means what is the count of odd degree vertices? Count of odd degree vertices is simple even number. That is what we actually tried to prove. Okay. All of you got this point? All of you got this point? Okay, very good. Yeah. Okay. Proceed further. Let's check this example. Take this example. How many odd degree vertices are there? Tell me how many odd degree vertices are there? How many odd degree vertices are there? Write on the chat box. There is say 5. Sekar say 5. How is it possible 5? I just proved that odd degree vertices of any graph must be even number. So check again. Let's say 5. So let's check. A is an odd degree vertices. A is having degree 3. So this is odd. B is not odd degree vertices. B is having degree 2. D is having degree 3. C is having degree 3. E is having degree 1. So how many odd degree vertices are there? 4 odd degree vertices. So number of odd degree vertices. Number of odd degree vertices is 4, and 4 is an even number. Number of odd degree vertices is 4, and 4 is an even number, which shows that, which verifies that theorem of second theorem of graph theory. Similarly, what about this one? Number of odd degree vertices. Tell me. Number of odd degree vertices. Write down on this chat box. Number of odd degree vertices. Write down on the chat box. All are saying 4. Okay, let's check. All are saying 4. Let's check. This is 1. This is 0. This is 3. This is 3. This is 4. Not 4. This is 3 also. And this is 4. All right. So how many odd degree? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is also 4, and 4 is an even number. So we verified our theorem. Okay. So you get this point. This is the second theorem of graph theory. That proof is also important. Proof of first theorem, proof of second theorem of graph theory, both are very much important. That can appear in your exam. All right.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Jonas, yes. Ask me.
What if we have an edge between F and E in the second graph?
In the second graph?
Yeah. What if we have an edge between F and A, the vertex F and E?
Sorry, again say.
What if we have an edge between F and E?
Can you please write on yes, E is an isolated vertex. E is an isolated vertex.
What if it's connected with F? With F.
Can you please write on chat box? It's not audible. You are not audible good enough. Please write on chat box. Write on chat box.
Sir,
Yes, yes.
he's asking what if E is connected with F?
Okay, okay, okay. What if E is connected with F? Okay. Let's connect. Let's connect E with F, right? Now what is the degree? Degree of E is 1. Degree of F becomes 2. Degree of C is 3. D is 3. B is 3. A is 4. So again we have 4 odd degree vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You can draw any graph. You can draw whatever the graph. Okay. Always the odd degree number of odd degree vertices must be an even number only. Okay. Proceed further. We'll come to that example later on, not now. So for this definition, what is simple graph? Next definition, what is simple graph? A graph G is called a simple graph if G does not have any loop or parallel edges. Again, a graph G is called a simple graph if G does not have any loop or parallel edges. Without self loop, without parallel edges. Any graph without self loop, without parallel edges, known as simple graph. Okay. Now there are 3 graphs given here. Okay, this is G1, this is G2, and this is G3. Tell me which one is a simple graph and which one is a not. Which one is simple graph and which one is not a simple graph? Okay, Matthew says G3 is not a simple graph. What about others? Write down on chat box. Come on. So G1 and G2 are simple. Yes, Sekhar says yes. Well done, Sekhar. And Teodros. So G3 is not a simple graph. G3 is not a simple graph, and this one is simple. This one is also simple because G3 is having self loop. Since G3 is having self loop, it is not a simple graph. Okay. Let's it further. Number 3. Theorem number 3. Theorem number 3. So that the maximum number of edge in a simple graph with n vertices is n minus 1, n into n minus 1 by 2. Theorem number 3. So that the maximum number of edges in a simple graph with n vertices is n into n minus 1 by 2. All right, let's start. You get my point? That graph must be a simple graph. This is important. That graph must be a simple graph. If we have any simple graph, we have maximum number of edges in the graph is n into n minus 1 by 2. Okay, so let's start prove this theorem. First of all, we suppose that G is a simple graph with n vertices. Okay, so what is the strategy? I am just stating here, taking 5 vertices. Suppose this is a graph with 5 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Try to understand the concept. All of you, stay above. First of all, this is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. Now my question is that I want to find a simple graph using these 5 vertices. I want to find a simple graph using these 5 vertices, but the number of edges of the graph are maximum. The number of edges of the graph are maximum. Okay, this is our intention. Okay, so what we can do here, first of all, I will start from V1. I will start from V1 and I will add all those vertices with V1 with some incident edges. So I will add V1 and V2, V1 and V3, V1 and V4, V1 and V5. So that is the maximum possibility. That is the maximum possibility. So how many edges I have drawn here? How many edges I have drawn here from V1?
4.
Yes, 4 edges. So 4 edges is the maximum possibility because we have extra 4 vertices. Apart from V1, we have extra 4 vertices. So if I start with n vertices, remember, if I start with n vertices, so how many edges we can start from? We can start from n minus 1 edges. Okay, because apart from n first vertices, how many vertices left? N minus 1 vertices left. So I will join all those vertices in the starting step. In the starting step, I will join all those vertices with that particular vertices, because I want to make sure that we have maximum number of edges. All right. So what next? What next? Next is that I want to start from V2. Next is I want to start from V2. Now from V2, how many edges are possible? Maximum joining. Because already V1 and V2 has joined. This one is completed. So V1, the part of V1 has been completed. So from V2, how many things possible? Yeah, n minus 2, that means 3. In this case, 5 vertices through we can join 3 vertices like this one, and this one. We can join from V2, this one, and this one. This is the maximum possibility I have drawn. Okay, we can join maximum 3 vertices from V2. Okay, because already V1 is connected from V2. Okay. Similarly, coming to the next point, from V3. From V3, how many vertices are left? 2 vertices, V4 and V5. So I will connect V4 and V5. I will connect V4 and V5. All right. And the last one is that only one possibility is left now. You can check, only one possibility is left, and that is the V4 and V5. So I will join V4 and V5. That is the last possibility. Okay. So you can check that I divide this joining strata into a few segments. Okay, like first one is n minus 1 vertices. That means started with, I can join V1 with 4 vertices, V2 with 3 vertices maximum, V3 with 2 vertices maximum, V4 with 1 vertices maximum, and that's all. If I follow these steps, automatically we get the simple graph which is having maximum number of edges. Now this is a simple graph which is having maximum number of edges. Look at this graph. This is a simple graph, and this graph is having maximum number of edges with having 5 vertices. Now I just change the concept from 5 vertices to n vertices. I just change the concept from 5 vertices to n vertices. So n vertices case, we will start with this one. Since this is a simple graph of first vertices can be adjacent with maximum number of n minus 1 vertices. First vertices can be adjacent with maximum number of n minus 1 vertices. So first vertex is having n minus 1 edges incident. Get my point? In the first vertex can have maximum number of n minus 1 edges incident. Similarly, proceed for the next. Now first vertex adjacent with second vertex. So second vertex can be adjacent with maximum number of n minus 2 vertices. That means can be incident with n minus 2 new edges maximum. Okay. In similar manner, if I continuing the second last vertex, last vertex or second last vertex, that n minus 1th vertex. You may say second last vertex. Second last vertex can have only one edge remaining maximum. Okay, if like the last concept of 5 vertices, only one edge remaining. That means if I count all these edges, if I count the sum of all its edges, so maximum number of edges of G can be written as n minus 1, started from n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 3 plus n minus 4 and so on up to 3 to 1. So ended at 1. So now this is your answer. N in 1 plus 2. We can make it in the another manner like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus so on up to n minus 1. Okay. Now what does it mean? It means like I can write it like plus n minus n. I can write it like plus n and minus n. It is possible. Now we know that the first n positive integer, sum of the first n positive integer is, tell me, n into n plus 1 by 2. Sum of the first n positive integer is equals to n into n plus 1 by 2. And I have to subtract n from this. If I subtract n from this, so what I will get? Simple calculation. N squared plus n minus 2n by 2, which means n squared minus n by 2, which means n into n minus 1 by 2, which is actually our proof. All right. So this is the theorem we have proved. Any doubt in this theorem? Any doubt, anyone? This proof can appear in your exam also. This proof can appear also in your exam. Any doubt till now?
বাংলায় বলে দেন মাস্টারের সুবিধা
Sorry? Hello, sorry?
sir one more again explain
One more time explain.
yes sir
Okay, I started with n number of vertices. Okay, try to understand. I started with n number of vertices, and how many maximum vertices can join from n vertices? Maximum possibility of joining from n vertices is n minus 1, because we cannot join that self vertices. Because if I join that self vertices with this, so we have to make a self loop, but self loop is not possible. Self loop is not possible. Okay, because this is a simple graph. Self loop is not possible because it is a simple graph. So we can join maximum n number n minus 1 vertices. So first one is n minus 1 vertices. The second graph, if I ignore the first vertices, I come to the second vertices. Second vertices can join with maximum n minus 2 vertices. Similarly, third vertices can join with maximum n minus 3 vertices. Similarly, second last vertices can be joined with 1 vertices. So ultimate, if I calculate these things, we will get n into n minus 1 by 2. All right.
okay sir okay
Okay, proceed further. Let's discuss the next definition, complete graph. Complete graph means a simple graph is said to be complete if there exists an edge between each and every pair of vertices. That means all vertices are connected to each other. In complete graph, all vertices are connected to each other. All vertices are connected to each other. So this graph, that type of graph is known as complete graph. Okay, which means we can denote this complete graph like Kn. And what is this n? N stands for the number of vertices. N stands for the number of vertices. N stands for the number of vertices. Let's take these graphs. Okay, so there are 4 graphs given here: K3, K4, K6, and K7. Okay, K3, K4, K6, and K7. Many times in exam, they can ask you to draw a complete graph. Like I can ask you to draw K13. I can ask you to draw K17. Okay, I can ask you to draw K9, K8, whatever. So you have to take care about that drawing also. Okay, so remember K3. K3 means 3 vertices, all are connected to each other. K3 means 3 vertices, all are connected to each other. K4 means 4 vertices, all are connected to each other. K6 means 6 vertices, all are connected to each other, but simple graph. The simple graph point is important. That means no parallel edges, no self loop. No parallel edges, no self loop. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the number of edges of K3? What's the number of edges of K3? Okay. Angita, what says that is K3? Sekhar says 3. Yes. Well done, Sekhar. Well done, Angita. Now, what's the number of edges of K4? Number of edges of K4. Write down on chat box. All of you have to participate. Nahum, Selamavit, Krishna, Gloria, David, all have to participate. Come on, write it. Sekhar says 7, David says 6, Jonas says 6, Eba says 6. Yes, so number of edges in K4 is 6. Number of edges in K4 is 6. Now, number of edges in K6. Number of edges in K6. Tell me. Okay, Krishna says 15. Matthew says 15. There is just a 15. Okay. Okay. Did you count it? Did you count it down or use something else? 15 is correct. 15 is correct. Okay. Very good, Matthews. No need to do the count. Okay. Similarly, K7. Number of edges for K7 is 21. Well done, Krishna. 21. Well done, Jonas. So tell me how we can easily calculate this the number of edges of a complete graph. Number of edges of a complete graph means third theorem of graph theory. Third theorem of graph theory says a simple graph which is having maximum number of edges. Simple graph which is having the maximum number of edges, it should be n multiplied with n minus 1 by 2. So similarly, in case of complete graph, we must have that maximum number of edges. Yes, Theodros. So the maximum number of edges should be n into n minus 1 by 2. And in case n equals to your number of vertices, so in this case 6 into 6 minus 1 is 5 by 2. Here it is 7 into 6 by 2. Here it is 4 into 3 by 2. And this is 3 into 2 by 2. So this is the answer we have to take care about. Okay. Proceed further. So next concept is bipartite graph. Next concept is bipartite graph. A graph G with a vertex set V and edge set is E is called a bipartite graph if its vertex set V can be partitioned into 2 non-empty subsets V1 and V2. V can be partitioned into 2 non-empty subsets. That means bipartite means bipartition. Bi means 2 partitions. Partite means partitions. That means we must have 2 partitions of vertex set. So vertex set V can be divided into 2 partitions, V1 and V2. Okay. In such a manner, remember this, there is some specific instruction. Instruction is that each edge of G has one end in V1 and other end in V2. Okay, and they are not V1 and V2. They are not interconnected. V1 and V2, they are not interconnected. As an example, like this one. This is a bipartite graph. Look this one. So first, I talk about this first partition of set. This is the first partition of vertices. So this is V1, and V1 equals to small v1, small v2, small v3. Okay, this is small v1, small v2, and this is small v3. Okay, so v1, v2, v3 is the first partition, and second partition is v4 and v5. Second partition is v4 and v5. Now, what is the meaning of this partition? Meaning of this partition is that V1, V2 and V3. V1, V2 and V3 are not interconnected. We cannot join them. This is not possible. We cannot join V1, V2 and V3. We cannot join that partition graph, that partition vertices interconnected manner. We cannot join their interconnected manner. But what we have to do, we have to join this set of vertices of V1 with V2 like this. Set of vertices of V2 with V1, it is possible. That's why this is known as bipartite graph. We have two partition, one partition to another partition we have to join. Okay. In that means we cannot join that particular vertex into interconnected manner. Okay. So if I proceed, yes.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Krishna,
Do you
yes,
hear me?
Krishna.
Okay, sir. Is there any real-time proof or implementation that where we use the bipartite graph?
Is there any?
Why we should learn this type of graph? Is there any real-time application?
Oh, many, so many. So many.
Okay, sir.
Lots of. You can find lots of application of this bipartite graph, every graph. Even whenever I am in a single slide, in that single slide, there are lots of application. We'll come to that point. Each and every application you can find on, we'll come to that point later. No problem. Okay. That bipartite graph is a part of layer. Okay. Hidden. I mean, if I talk about neural network, it's a networking thing, kind of stuff. In a networking kind of stuff. So we have, suppose this is bipartite graph, but we can include later on, not included in a syllabus. We can include tripartite graph. We can include tetrapartite graph. Okay, that means we can include n-partite graph. Total n partitions also we can involve. So n partition means suppose this is the first layer, this is second layer, this is third layer. Okay, total 3 layers are there, and their vertex are given like this manner. So vertex are given like this manner. They are connected like this manner.
Yes.
Okay, so this is
One-to-one,
totally
many-to-many.
networking concept. They are not interconnected to each other, but they are connected with other partitions. Okay.
Other layer.
Yeah, other layer. So this is actually known as neural network kind of stuff, which is, yes, neural network, or you may say this is applicable in data mining concept. Okay, so lots of
sir,
applications. Krishna, you can find lots of applications. Don't ask me
Sir,
for
I'm
applications
thinking
later on. Okay.
No, sir. I think that this one is a neural network, so I have confusion. So that's why I asked you.
Oh, great, excellent, well done. So just listen the concept. The concept is very much important. Okay, try to understand the base of this concept. If you know this base concept, then definitely after some time you can find many applications of graph theory. I can challenge you, I can bet you right now. Okay, so this is that much important is that subject. Okay, so coming to this point, what about this graph? Can you tell me, can anyone tell me what are the partition of this graph? Two partitions, just tell me two partitions. Just tell me two partitions. What are the partitions here in the second graph? In the second graph, what are the partitions? Write down on chat box. Come on, quick. In the first graph, there are two partitions, that is v1, v2, v3, 1 and v4, v5, 1. Yes, Krishna. 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2 is one partition. Another one is 0, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Well done, well done. 0, 1, 2 and 3, 4. I didn't get you, Arafat. 0, 3, 3, 4. I didn't get you. I didn't get you, Arafat. Arafat, make two partitions. Yes, 0, 2, 0, 1, 2, one partition, another one is 3, 4. What about other? Theodros? Theodros, what about Selamavit? Selamavit. Theodros, write down the partitions. Theodros, write down the partitions. Selamavit. Selamavit, write down the partition, otherwise I will put you absent. Selamavit, write down the partition, otherwise I will put you absent. No response from Selamavit from last day also. Selamavit, I will put you absent, okay? I don't want that kind of presence. Physical presence I don't want. Rather, you can leave the class. Yes, Nahum, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Theodros says something different. 0, 4, 2, 1, 3. Let's say 0, 4, 2, 1, 3. So Theodros says 0, 4, 2, 0, 4, 2, and 1, 3. No, not possible, Theodros. Not possible. 0, 4, 2. That means they are interconnected. So we cannot have any partition. Those are interconnected. We cannot have any partition. Those are interconnected, Theodros. Because partitions cannot be interconnected. V1, V2 cannot be interconnected. V2, V3 cannot be interconnected, Theodros. One partition can connect it with another partition. That is possible. But they are not interconnected. Okay. So you can make some partition like one is possible like 0, 1, 3, 3, 4. One is possible like 0, 1, 3, 3, 4. Any other partition? Any other partition? 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Apart from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Apart from 0, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Any other partition you can construct here? David, think about it. Don't say no initially. Think about it. It is possible, David. It is possible. 0, 3. 0, 3. No, not 0, 3. 0, 3 is not possible because 1, 2, 4 are interconnected. 2 and 4 are interconnected. So 0, 3 is also not possible. 0, 3 is also not possible. Arafat. 1, 4. Okay. 1, 4. Krishna says 1, 4. 1, 4 means this one. And another one is 2, 0, 3. Yes. Perfect, Krishna. That is possible. Well done, Krishna. 1, 4 and 0, 2, 3. 1, 4 and 0, 2, 3 is possible. 1, 4 and 0, 2, 3 is possible. Eba says, so another possibility is 1, 4 and 0, 2, 3. 1, 4 and 0, 2, 3 is possible. Eba says 0, 3, 4 and 1, 2. Eba says 0, 3, 4 and 1, 2. Let's check. 0, 3, 4 are not possible, Eba, because 0 and 4 are connected. Eba, 0, 3, 4 is not possible because they are connected. Jonas says 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4 is not possible, Jonas, because 1 and 3 are connected. All right, get my point. Don't make any arbitrary partisans. Make with some sense. The sense is that we cannot connect that partition interconnected manner. Okay, Eba says 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2 is possible, but what about 0, 2, 0, 3, 4? Because 0 and 4 is connected. That's not possible. So 1, 2 is not possible. Okay, Eba. 1, 2 only possible when 0, 3, 4 is a partition. But 0, 3, 4 is cannot be a partition because 0 and 4 are connected. That's why 1, 2 is not possible. There is a 1, 2 is not possible. There is a 1, 2 is not possible because 0, 3, 4 is connected to each other. Simple logic is that 1, 2 is only possible only when 0, 3, 4 is a partition. But 0, 3, 4 is cannot be a partition because 0 and 4 is connected. There is a, it is not possible because we have 5 vertices. We have to include all these vertices. Okay, if I can remove one vertices, then it's possible. There is a 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, but we are not removing, right, any vertices. Okay, hope you get this concept, all of you. Proceed further. Complete bipartite graphs. Next concept is complete bipartite graph. A bipartite graph G with partition V1, V2 is said to be complete bipartite if every vertex in V1 is connected to every vertex in V2. Yes, Kaisun?
Sir,
Okay, so every vertex of V1 is connected to every vertex of V2, then we can say that is complete bipartite graph. In that case, suppose we have m number of vertex in V1 set and n number of vertex in V2 set. So the complete bipartite graph is can be denoted as KMN. We can denote this KMN. Okay, how it's look like this one. Like this one. This is K23. Look at this graph. This is, first of all, this is bipartite graph. Bipartite means we have two partitions. First partition, second partition. Okay, and look at this connection. All the vertex, each and every vertex are connected to each other. Each and every vertex are connected to each other. Nothing left. That means maximum possible edge connection. Maximum possible edge connection is there. Okay, so first of all, this is a bipartite graph as well as a complete graph. That's why this is known as complete bipartite graph, and we can denote KMN. Okay, similarly, this one is K35. This one is K26. Can anyone tell me how many edges are there in K23? How many edges are there in K23? Write down on chat box. How many edges are there in K23? Number of edge. Number of edge in K23. Yes, Krishna 6. There is a 10. Shekhar says 6. Theodros says 12. No, Theodros, not there is a, that is not 10. Theodros, it is wrong, not 12. 6 is the correct answer. 6, number of edges is 6 for K23 is the correct answer. So number of edges of K35. Number of edges of K35. Write down. Number of edges of K35. Write down. Number of edges of second graph K35. Write down. Engida work says 15. What about others? Theodros say 15. David say 15. There is a 15. Krishna 15. Yes, 15 is the correct answer. 15 is the correct answer. And what about K26? We have 12. K26 means 12. So you can find the number of edges of complete bipartite graph. Number of edges of complete bipartite graph. Number of edges of complete bipartite graph equals to m into n. M multiplied with n. M times n. M is the number of vertices of first partition. N is the number of vertices of second partition. So first partition, number of vertices of first partition times number of vertices of second partition is going to be the total number of edges of complete bipartite graph. Okay. So is it possible? Now question is that is it possible to draw a complete to draw another partition in complete bipartite graph? One partition is given. One partition is given on that is standard partition. Is it possible to draw another partition of this complete bipartite graph? One partition is always given. Is it possible to draw another partition like the last question? There are two partitions possible in the last question. The last slide. But here is okay. Krishna says yes. Krishna, can you explain me why? How is it possible? Another partition? Krishna?
Sir, if you give me, hello, sir.
Sorry?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, I'm listening.
Sir, my question is, if you give me one partition, so another partition has chosen by.
No,
Hello.
not like that, not like that. I am asking you that
Hello.
is it possible to make another? Yes, Krishna. Hello, Krishna. Krishna.
Sir, yes.
I'm saying that.
Krishna Sule gেছে।
I'm saying that.
Yes, sir.
that
Hello.
In case of doing partition, okay, I'm asking you that is it possible to make another set of partition? You are changing the full set of partition. It is not possible here. It is not possible, Krishna, because this is complete bipartite graph. Because they are already connected to each other. And if I want to make any other partition, suppose I want to make this partition, they are interconnected. They are interconnected to each other. So it is not possible because all vertices are interconnected to each other. Okay. That's why no other other partition is possible here. So only one partition. Yes, it's already interconnected. That's why no other partition is possible. Only one partition is possible in case of complete bipartite graph. Only one set of partitions is possible. Clear? Proceed further. Next concept, subgraph. A graph is said to be like V1 and E1 is a set of vertices and set of edges. A graph H is called the subgraph of G. G is the main graph, V and E. If the vertices and edge of H are contained in the vertices and edge of G, which means suppose this is a main graph. This is main graph. Now this one is a subgraph of G, capital G. So G1 is a subgraph of capital G. Now what is the policy? What is the rule of this G1? I am cutting this graph like this manner. This is the way I cut this graph. Okay. So I make this rectangle as a subgraph. So what you need to remember to make a subgraph, you cannot change the name of vertices and edges. Name of vertices and edges. You cannot change the name of vertices and edges. Okay. So here it is alpha 1, it is alpha 1. Alpha 2, alpha 2. Alpha 3, alpha 4. Alpha 3, alpha 4. And number of edges is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we cannot change the we cannot change the number of the name of edges and vertices. All right. G2
No, sir.
G2 is also a subgraph. And what is G2? G2 just is a point, just is a vertex. It is just a vertex alpha 2. So this is a G. Okay. In similar manner, this is G3. G3 is just a triangle. G3 is just a triangle like this one. Okay. They are considering this triangle. This triangle is a G3. Okay. So we can make any subgraph. Just take the subset of the graph. But remember only one thing, you cannot change the name of the vertex and name of the edges. All right. Yes, G3 is a subgraph. Matthew, G3 is a subgraph. This is 4.
No,
Alpha
I mean
4.
that.
Yes, yes. Alpha 2,
Okay.
alpha 2. Alpha 4, alpha 4, alpha 5, alpha 5. And this is 5. This is 5. This is 7. This is 7.
Yeah, it is
Okay, Matthew?
G2. It is G2, right? I said G3 is the last one.
No, G3 is also a subgraph. Okay. Similarly, G4. G4 is also subgraph. You can check it. I cut this one, this one, this one, and this one. This is a G4. All right. So you can extract any subgraph from any main graph. But just try to remember one thing, you cannot change the name of vertices and edges. It's all about today's study lecture. Right now we are moving towards problem solving. I'm stopping this recording right now.
Sir,
Yes.
হ্যাঁ বল